There is no dignity quite so impressive and no independence quite so important as living within your means. If you go on social media, you will see that many people are engaged in showing off, whether it's a new car, a bigger house, or a luxurious lifestyle. Some do this to manipulate people into buying something, but the majority does it for social validation, even if what they show is either fake or on loan. So in a world where people are trapped in buying items to show off, even if it puts them into debt, modest living is probably the perfect gift you can give yourself. And here are the 5 reasons why. The first reason is that living modestly keeps you out of the vicious cycle of unfulfillment and constant validation. As Homo sapiens, we have evolved in such a way that social validation is crucial for our survival. In our hunter-gatherer days, being part of a group was essential. If someone was ostracized, they faced a high likelihood of death, and this need for social validation persists even today. So when you get a promotion or buy a nice car, you may feel a sense of achievement and joy because you get the social validation that you need. And all of us have felt that joy at some point in our lives, but you may have noticed that the feeling fades away very quickly because you realize that even if you get a promotion, you're still subject to orders at work. Or you may have a nice car, but your friend has a better car than yours. And this realization can make your hard-earned achievements insignificant, leading you to a new set of standards to meet to feel that joy again. And this cycle continues without fail. Psychologists describe it as hedonic treadmill, which refers to people's tendency to return to a relative level of happiness after experiencing major life wins, whether positive or negative. A study from 1978 found that the lottery winners reported similar levels of happiness before and after winning the lottery. Their large monetary gains had little lasting impact on their happiness. So the point here is, if you buy a nice car or a bigger house, the happiness derived from these purchases will soon fade, prompting you to seek even more expensive items to regain that feeling of joy. But when you consciously choose to live within your means, you stay out of this vicious cycle. And also, you can save more money, which will help you retire early. For example, if you just invested $800 each month at 10% interest, you will reach $1 million within 25 years. Or you can reach there much faster if you start saving more and investing it, which is very easily manageable if you live a modest life. The second reason why modest living is important is that it makes your life easier. When people buy a luxury car, a bigger house, or even a new phone, they often think it's a one-time purchase and don't consider the ongoing maintenance costs. For example, imagine yourself as an athlete who wins a marathon and receives a Lamborghini as a prize. At first, you're thrilled, driving around and enjoying all the attention. But soon you realize that its insurance costs 3 times that of an average car. And servicing it will be expensive as well. Also, if you get into an accident by chance, the repairs could cost you a fortune. And even after all this effort and expenses, you won't feel the same joy for your car as you did in the beginning due to the hedonic treadmill effect. And this cycle isn't just limited to luxury cars. It's similar with trending clothes or the latest iPhone. After a short while, a newer version comes out and you feel the pressure to upgrade it even if the current one works fine. Another thing that people overlook is that buying a luxury item often triggers the deterrent effect, a phenomena where acquiring one possession creates a spiral of consumption. So if you own a Lamborghini, for example, you might feel the need for designer clothes, a premium watch, expensive grooming, and upscale dining, all that to match the image of a Lamborghini owner. And just imagine for a moment, if someone looking like this comes out of a Lamborghini, people wouldn't be astonished. Their first question might be, did he steal the car? And this highlights the point that when you buy something expensive that you don't really need, you're signing up for the effort and expenses of maintaining it, just to prove to others that you have achieved something. On the other hand, when you choose to live below your means, driving an average car, living in an average home with minimal maintenance, you have peace of mind and enough time to focus on what truly matters to you. This freedom comes simply from not feeling the need to prove yourself to others. The third reason for living below your means is that luxury often comes at a cost of your freedom. When you buy a bigger house or an expensive car, you willingly put yourself in a position where you will need to work longer hours to pay your high mortgages and EMIs. This can lead to constant stress due to loans, and you might feel trapped in a job you dislike because you can't afford to leave. Not to mention the situation of your savings. In a recent survey, 83% Americans said that they overspend on things like groceries, clothes, or travel. Another survey reveals that 1 in 5 American families who earn over $150,000 annually are living paycheck to paycheck. This may be surprising, as we often assume that only those with low-paying jobs face such issues. However, it's noteworthy that only about top 5% of US households earn over $150,000 a year. So they are one of the top earners and still living paycheck to paycheck. And one of the biggest reasons for this is they spend a lot of money on luxury. Compare this to somebody who lives modestly. Even with mortgages and car payments, they can afford to pay their bills, save and invest for the future, all while working fewer hours. They experience less stress, have more time to spend with the loved ones, or doing what they want to do simply because they chose to live a simpler life. Reason number 4 of why looking poor is important is it helps you stay authentic. And authenticity attracts right people. When you're not trying to show off or seeking constant validation, it doesn't just make you genuine. It also fosters generosity and humility, and these qualities attract good and trustworthy people. On the other hand, flaunting a gold Rolex or driving a luxury car attracts people with shallow intentions. They may be drawn to you not for who you are, but for what you have, and that is money. And these are not the kind of friends that you would want. Also, when you constantly show off, then good people who are in your life would start moving out. Not because of jealousy, but because flaunting wealth is generally seen as a poor character. When you flaunt, you are indirectly highlighting what others might lack, and it can come across as insensitive. Also, relationships based solely on money are often superficial. A study found that 25% of Americans admitted to pursuing a romantic relationship primarily for financial reasons. And as we all know, relationship based on lies doesn't last longer. But on the other hand, authenticity builds concrete relationships. Now, reason number 5 of why looking poor is important is it makes you a saint. When you have money but choose to live a modest life, you're consciously training your mind to be happier with less. You might feel tempted to buy a car because your friend just got one, or a bigger house because your neighbor has one, but each time you feel tempted, you make the conscious decision to evaluate these temptations rationally rather than letting your emotions take over. And each time you do that, you strengthen your resolve. Over time, you will cultivate a mindset that isn't fixated on acquiring every shiny object that your friend or your neighbor or your colleague might have. Now, what living modestly also does is, it demonstrates that you don't need other people's validations, nor do you compare yourself with anyone else. Instead, you focus on doing what truly makes you happy. This process helps you develop a calm and composed mind, resembling the qualities of a saint. And these are the 5 reasons why looking poor is so important. Now, some people may ask that what's the point of earning money if you can't use it to make you happier? So let me give you 2 scenarios. 1, you have some luxury cars, designer clothes, and you are living in a $5 million mansion, but you have no financial security and most people around you are just there because you have money. The other scenario is that you are living a modest life with an average car, average home, and spending only on essential items. But you have enough savings to support yourself for your entire life, and you are surrounded by people who actually care about you. So which side would you choose? Well, if you ask someone who has experienced both sides, they will tell you that feeling of freedom, empowerment, and the ability to walk away from something that doesn't make you happy far outweighs the fulfillment you get from a bigger house, a nicer car, or posting about your expensive travels on social media. In my opinion, you should first focus on building emergency fund, followed by saving and investing for retirement. Once you have enough saved to retire comfortably, and if you have some money left, you can gift yourself a nicer car or a bigger house. But initially, your priority should be saving enough to retire early, and more importantly, reaching your first $100,000 milestone as soon as possible, because your wealth literally goes crazy after that. And this video will explain you how. So please check it out.